All right, today we're doing topic 16, geometric measurement, classifying two-dimensional figures. And let's review some vocabulary. Choose the best term from the box, write it on the blank. A blank, is a polygon with four sides. Four sides is the key there. Quadrilateral, four-sided polygon. The point where two sides of a polygon intersect. So if I'm going to draw a shape where the two sides intersect, these little corners here are called the vertex or vertices. The distance between blank sides of a polygon is always the same. When the distance between and the distance between sides that are the same, we call that parallel. And the blank is a unit of measure for angles, and we measure angles using a degree. Okay, now moving on. Find each answer. So we're going to review adding decimals. Remember, you line them up by place value, and then you add them up. That would be number 5. Number 6, when you're subtracting decimals, again, you line them up by place value. Don't forget, you might have to annex a 0, and you make sure you're regrouping. 7, when you're multiplying decimals, you don't need to line up anything, although in that problem it does line up. We're just going to treat it as if they're just forget about the decimal, we'll stick it in at the end. And we have 2 digits in decimal place value in the problem. That means we'll have 2 in the answer. So the answer is 8.32. 24.27 times 10 to the third. And we know 10 to the third is going to be 1,000. We're multiplying by 1,000. We move the decimal 3 place values. So we're going to move it 1, 2, 3. So our final answer will be 24,270. Number 9, fractions. 3 2/3 plus 6 9/10. We know we're going to have to find equivalent fractions. 3 doesn't go into 10. I'll skip count until I find a multiple that both numbers will go into. And I will rename. So 2/3 becomes 20 over 30. 9/10 becomes 27 over 30. We're adding. We have 47 over 30. 9 and 47 over 30. I'm going to reduce. 47 over 30 is equal to 1 and 17/30. So I'm going to add 9 plus 1 and 17/30, and I wind up with 10 and 17/30. Number 10, 8.5 minus 4 and 4/5. Denominators are different. Find an equivalent fraction. I'm going to multiply these two together, and I can get a nice equivalent fraction that way, a nice small one. Rename. I can't subtract 8 from 5, so I'm going to have to borrow. And remember, when I borrow, I use my denominator that's already there. 10 over 10 equals 1, because I borrowed 1 from the 8, and I brought it over here. Now I can subtract 15 minus 8. 15 minus 8 is 7 over 10, and 7 minus 4 is 3. So we have 3 and 7/10. And for number 11, 8 divided by 1/2. Keep the first, change the sign, flip the second. We get the whole number 16. And for number 12, same strategy. 1/3 divided by 1/6. Keep the first, change the sign, flip the second, and 1/18 is our answer there. And then down into the word problems, Louisa drew a polygon with 6 sides of equal length. So she's drawing a polygon with 6 sides of equal length. And if perimeter is equal to 95.4 centimeters, how long is each side? We know that each side is equal, and when we add them all together, we're going to get 95.4, so we're going to divide. 6 into 95.4. 6 goes into 9 one time. Subtract, compare, bring down. 6 goes into 35 5 times. Minus 30 is 5. Sorry about that. Bring down my 4. 6 goes into 54 9 times. Don't forget, put your decimal where it belongs. It's lined up. So we're going to wind up with 15.9 centimeters. And we got that by doing 95.4 divided by 6 is how we solve that. The area of a rectangle is 112 square inches, the whole area. If the length is 16 inches, what's the width? We'll take 112 and divide it by 16. And we're going to get 7. Because we know area equals length times width. And if I know my area is 112 and I know my length is 16, I'm using that simple algebra to help me figure that out. And then continuing, just reviewing some vocabulary real quickly. We're looking at equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle, scalene triangle, and right triangle, acute triangle, obtuse triangle, parallelogram, and trapezoid. So an equilateral triangle has at least 2 equal sides. We call that equilateral. And you can equilateral. You can cut these out from your workbook and use them to review. A blank triangle, all sides are the same. Oops, I got those mixed up there. Hang on. So this is an isosceles triangle. I'm going ahead of myself. I'm too worried about the spelling here. Isosceles. There we go. 2 sides the same. An equilateral has all sides the same. Equilateral. A right triangle has 1 right angle. And a scalene triangle has no sides are the same. And an obtuse triangle has 1 obtuse angle. An acute triangle has all 3 acute angles. A trapezoid is a parallelogram with 1 pair of parallel sides, and a parallelogram is a quadrilateral with both pairs of opposite sides parallel and equal in length. So you want to review those terms before you move on.